Hey everyone, welcome back to the stream. New year, new deductible. We have got some news to cover and some newbies to cover. So grab yourself a drink, say hi to your friends in the chat, and let's get started with today's live stream. If you are coming in here after the fact, hit me up with a hashtag replay. Let me know what you are thinking is your favorite part of today's stream. I am so excited to be back, you guys. Sorry for doing this on a Thursday. It seems like an odd day. I usually have my streams on Friday, but I'm going to be switching it up. And they added in some new stuff to my streaming software that I needed to test out today. So I thought, well, what the heck? Even though today is video upload day, we will come on as well here. I don't know. I feel like I'm having issues with Facebook though. So I'm going to have to contact customer service. If you guys, or if anyone's here from Facebook, because I'm not seeing my Facebook connection on here, definitely let me know. Let's see if I can get it back up and going. One second here. Maybe it'll connect. Okay. So I'm here today. I'm Victoria Mole. If you're new here, I am a medical coder, auditor, educator, content creator. And I just come on live to talk about medical coding careers and medical coding news. And yeah, it looks like the chat's already pumping today. So I'm excited for it. I'm probably going to start moving lives to Mondays and then trying to alternate live streams and podcasts on Mondays because Friday's kind of a rough day for me because I have personal training on Friday and I'm just kind of it's getting stretched thin to run to the gym, run home, shower, change, head back into the office because I don't work from home anymore. I work in a leased office. So we might be switching days to Monday and I hope not to step on the toes of anyone else who's doing stuff on Mondays, but it is what it is. So, guys, I don't know if you know this. My birthday is coming up in 10 days, and I am so happy because I have been craving birthday cake, and my fiancé started taking notes, and I'm like, had to explain to him specifically what birthday cake is. And I'm like, sheet cake, like chocolate sheet cake, and then buttercream frosting with little roses on the top. Like, that's what birthday cake is to me. Because if I say birthday cake, you know how guys are sometimes they'll be like, I did a better and I got you an Oreo cake. No, chocolate sheet cake. If you want to, I have not gotten a birthday card in forever. So my PO box is in the video description. If you want to drop me a birthday card or a Disney gift card, you can drop it to victoria@contempocoding.com. I'm very excited for that. So I mean, you can imagine where I'm going for my birthday based off of that request. In any case, some news to get into. I want to start off with today. AHIMA acquired a new CEO. Kevin, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Kevin Clower. He is a physician. He is the new CEO effective January 8th to AHIMA. He is formerly the system's chief medical officer at HCA Florida Ocala and West Marion Hospitals. He brings a wealth of healthcare experience from senior executive positions. I'm sure everyone, if I know my people on LinkedIn, the first thing they're thinking is, well, I'm going to talk to this guy about the CEU situation going on. A lot of that still stirring on. They want everyone to do completely away with the 40% AHIMA CEU direct requirement. If you're not familiar with that, AHIMA was going to make their AHIMA members get 40% of their CEUs for their AHIMA memberships directly from AHIMA, which was a cost concern for them and just a educational choice concern for them as well. So they have delayed it until January 2025, and everyone is pushing to have it completely eliminated. More to come on that. There are some updates this year, and I know I'm getting a lot of questions in here. That's awesome. We are actually live today on Instagram for the first time as well. So hello to any of my Instagram followers that are coming in here for the first time. AAPC updates. In case you haven't heard, Healthcare Business Monthly is now AAPC, the magazine, so no longer Healthcare Business Monthly. It's going to cover all things AAPC company and AAPC members, highlighting members, articles from members. I'm gonna be talking more about healthcare. I'm gonna call it Healthcare Business Monthly for a while. I apologize. I'm gonna talk more about AAPC, the magazine, and the CEUs that you can get not only for reading, but for writing for healthcare business, there I did it right again, for AAPC, the magazine, in an upcoming video where I'll be covering some of the CEU options for 2024. On the topic of CEUs and 2024, AAPC has recently increased their CEU fees for vendors. So let's say I have a company like Optum 360. If they want to apply now to have CEUs for a product or a webinar they're having, the application fee has been waived, but their per CEU fee has almost doubled now, which the AAPC hasn't increased their rates to apply for a CEU as a vendor to offer CEUs to others in quite some time, so they were due for an increase, but it was a substantial increase. So, we might see some reluctance of certain vendors to offer CEUs now due to the increased cost. Kinda have to see, but we always have other options for free and cheap CEUs, which I'm gonna be covering in an upcoming video. So, another hot thing to talk about, the AAPC exams. So there's been this blackout period. We're not having exams from January 1st through the 14th. I think they're supposed to open back up on the 15th. My area did not have any on the 15th. So I logged into my account today for my exam voucher because I purchased the dermatology voucher because the derm field and the plastics field have a lot of similarities, so I figured that might be one that I could fairly easily pass if I wanna go for that certification. So I wanna talk about what these exam centers are going to look like, and I can't do that unless I have firsthand gone to one of the exam centers and taken an exam there myself. So I am scheduled now, because everything is allowed to be scheduled now through the exam centers, so I'm scheduled on Tuesday. So I'm hoping to walk through what that sign-up process looked like, walk through some of the restrictions with the exam center so I can make some content so everyone else knows what to expect. I'm sure the AAPC has put it all out there, but sometimes I guess everyone just likes to hear it from a different voice or a different tone, which is where I come in. So, you can go on if you have an exam voucher, it will give you the option to pick a remote live proctor or the exam center now. So exciting. Um, so far, I will give you a little heads up. There has been some pretty strict information in regards to the exam centers. So it states on there that you're not allowed to bring, obviously, your phone, a jacket, your purse, food and beverages aren't permitted. A cough drop is not allowed to be brought into the exam center. They might inspect your glasses to make sure that they are not smart glasses that are recording or taking photographs of anything. So it's going to be a little more strict than what we've seen in the past for sure. Let's see if we've gotten any questions regarding some of the coding news. I need to move up my seat or something. What's going on here, Victoria? I don't like when I'm not properly framed in my camera. There we go. That's better. Couple of questions. People are coming in. Let's see. Happy early birthday, says Christy. Sandy's taking her exam January 22nd. Good luck to you. That's coming up soon. That is absolutely that's 11 days from now. Yeah, so no water is crazy. I don't know if it's like a situation because this is why I wanna go and kind of see what it's like because I don't know if the situation is you can bring it into the building, but, like, you have to leave it or lock it outside of the exam room, and then so I really don't know. I don't know if there's water fountains outside the I don't know. So, that's why I'm like, I gotta figure out what's going on here because that seems pretty restrictive to not allow a beverage at least, so we shall see, but that's what the email I was sent said, no food, no beverages, no cough drops, all kinds of stuff. So, hey, ooh, Mallory just passed her CDEO. That's a tough one. Congratulations, Mallory. Uh, Island Gun 22, how much does the books? They cost between $250, $300 to buy all of the books that you would need just for coding for the CPC exam. The instructional textbooks and workbooks probably cost you $150. So that's how much it would cost. And it might vary depending on where you're located. All right. So, who is administering the CPC test in 2024? So in 2024, you take it with Major. I can bring up their website real quick while we are talking about exam center stuff and exams. Major Learning, proctoring. Okay, so here we go. I'll bring it over. Oh, is this a come on button? Oh man. Let's see here. Oh, that's why. I need to select. Oh gosh. No, that's not what I want at all. Okay. 1 second. Let me screen share for you. I have to add in the present. There we go. Screen share. Forgot what button that is. Window. Okay. So here we go. So they are hosted by Major. So if you go to majorlearning.com, they have the remote testing and the test center options. Sorry, it is acting a little funny, just probably from the ratio of what my monitor is. Accept cookies. Okay. So they have remote proctoring, test centering, and I think they do have a list here of locations. Yeah, so if you go here to test site locations, it will tell you where the locations are in your area. So test site cities, and they are broken down. So like here, I'm in Pennsylvania, and it tells me all of the test site areas that are in my town and different cities near me. So you can check that way. One of the cool things you guys can do is they have what they call here the take a sample test. Now, that is not a coding sample test. It is just a platform sample test. So you can, if you want to get familiar with the platform, go onto their website and just kind of get familiar with what the exam center platform kind of looks like. So again, these aren't coding questions, but you can get familiar with doing things like I talk about the notes. So you can write down notes about like your A, B, C, D options on your exam and start doing like process of elimination or going, okay, this is the code for unspecified diabetes and making like little comments to yourself there. So definitely worth checking out. Yeah, so courses on the CPC exam, I have a review class available on my website. I do not have a full CPC course. 'Cause I wish I could, but I cannot handle the volume. So, if you're interested in learning, medical billing and coding, I would recommend that you sign up for my medical coding masterclass because the medical coding masterclass is where I talk about all of my recommendations as far as how to get into a career in medical billing and coding, and then the program that I endorse as well. You can find out more about them. They are called Preppy. Do I know anything about AAPC chart auditing accreditation? I know about the AAPC certifications. I'm not familiar with chart auditing accreditation. That's not a familiar one for me. Let me get rid of that was my merchandise. There we go. Medicalcodingmasterclass.com. I do have new merchandise available. There is a really cute t-shirt hoodie that I am like absolutely obsessed with right now. It is so comfortable. So yeah, really excited to see and share all of my experiences with the platform with Major and the exam center. I'm going to report back if it's as crazy strict as it seems, or if they are a little bit more lax, like if I'm allowed to bring in a water bottle or if I had to keep it at a separate area from when I were in testing. I'm sure since everything's electronic, they don't wanna risk people coming in and spilling their Starbucks all over their computers, so we shall see. Who do you use for resume assistance? There's some great options out there. So Project Resume, they've been out there established for years, lots of great feedback on them. I've had some viewers lately that have gone to Sarah. She's, I think, amping up services, Caffeinated Coder Creations, I believe it is. Sarah Reagan, Ragan. She is on Facebook and LinkedIn. Look her up. She does amazing. Like people are like they love Sarah. And there is Marissa McGinn. She's doing resumes as well. Yeah, Allison says Sarah's great for resumes. She is. She's just all around amazing. So if you guys saw my video from earlier, I was talking about the G2211. That has been a huge hot topic right now. And when I posted that video, a couple of people were commenting in like, "Oh, I found this resource. I found that resource." And I'm like, I mean, the resources that they're offering, like, thank you for sharing. But some of them are not anything more than I mean, look at this MLN. This is the MLN that they sent us for over here. I keep hitting the wrong button. Present. Stop screen, present, share screen. I'm just gonna share this window, and that'll be good. Okay. So if we look at this MLN that they gave us for G2211, like, the description is about the add-on complexity code, when to use it, who can use it. It starts January 1. It's only for office and outpatient E&M, and then you can't report anything with a 25 modifier and use G2211, but, like, it doesn't tell you a single thing about what the criteria is to code for this, and the terminology that they use is so incredibly ambiguous. It's like a complex condition. Well, what are we considered like, where's the definition of what we're considering a complex condition? So, it's a cute video, points out some of the questions that we're all kind of having to about G2211. It sounds like from what I'm hearing from the coding community is everyone's at work having meetings, trying to figure out their best determination of how they're going to interpret it and putting that into documentation. The problem that we run into is that at any point in time, Medicare could go ahead and say, "Hey, we have a new definition of this. Here's our updated clarification. We're going to make it retroeffective." And then what happens to anyone who build that between now and when they've actually provided us some clarity on this code? So definitely some stuff to pay attention to with the G2211. It's awful. Something else. Yeah, NamUs did release a document regarding G2211 this week with some best recommendations, and I think it was very excellent as far as, like, in lieu of having something definitive from Medicare, here's what we think you should do. But I want something definitive from Medicare. That's the problem. That is the problem. Alright, let's go through what else have I got. Da, da, da. So let's go through now. We'll get into some of our coding questions because it's the beginning of the year. And I know at the beginning of the year, we have a lot of new year, new me. People are looking for new certifications, they're looking for new jobs. What I understand, because people have been asking me a lot about jobs and saying, like, hey, I can't find anything. I've been looking for weeks. There's been nothing. I think a lot of times companies don't post positions throughout the November, December timeframe as much because it's hard during the holidays to schedule interviews. A lot of people are out for the holidays for extended stays, and that includes people like human resources. So they oftentimes will hold some of those positions and not post them until after everything is kind of settled for the new year. From what I understand, we're going to start seeing more jobs starting to post now into late January, early February. So there should be I think I heard Judge and CSI are going to start hiring and having some availability as well. So I'm gonna go through we got some stuff that I know came in ahead of time, so I wanna Sandy is saying, "I am 3 chapters away from completing Preppy." That's awesome. Preppy is the program that I do endorse. I actually just worked with them yesterday. Someone had a couple of questions. I sent them their way. Like, they called them right away. Their customer service is phenomenal. Maggie says, "I'm torn on what training to do. I have 25 years of surgery scheduling experience, but I haven't worked since 2020." So I guess it depends on what your interests are. Are you looking to get into medical billing and coding? You can get dual programs with the AAPC billing and coding if you are maybe interested in hospital specifically because you've worked in kind of surgery scheduling before. If you want to do inpatient coding, you're familiar more with the inpatient hospital end of stuff. Maybe you want to go for your inpatient coding certification, or if you want to go completely back to school, you could look into getting your RHIT, which is the Registered Health Information Technician, which means you have to go to an accredited school through AHIMA. So there's a lot of options out there, definitely lots of new options. Grave Wolford says, 42 years old, no experience whatsoever, but interested. So if you're interested in a career in billing and coding, sign up for the Medical Billing and Coding Masterclass. That is free to sign up for the Career Masterclass. It does not teach you medical billing and coding. It teaches you about the right way to get into medical billing and coding and the best recommendations that I have as far as expectations and all of that information. Now, in lieu of that, one of the other things you can do is you can take classes directly from the AAPC. So if we go over here, the AAPC website, they're always having some kind of deal on coding training. You can check your local community colleges as well. Oftentimes they have career development programs and it can offer possibly grants. And if you want some more information, come on, deck. Doesn't want to work with me. If we want some more information, you can go to my YouTube channel. Let's take it over here. And I actually have a whole introductory playlist. Come on now. Introductory playlist. Right here it is. Want to become a medical coder? Start here. So it gives you all of the videos that I have on like how someone who does not have healthcare experience or has a little bit of healthcare experience or switching careers, like how do you go from that person to certified in billing and coding? Like, what do you need to know? So definitely start with these videos over here. Tina's asking, Victoria, I have my RHIA, my CRC, and I would like to start studying for CPMA, and I don't know where to begin. Should I get my CPC first? Well, that depends on what your experience in coding is. The CPMA is an advanced credential for professional fee coding, and you're saying you have your CRC, which is just risk adjustment. So if you're not super familiar at this point with CPT coding, it might be better to go for your CPC first. I would say you don't have to if you have an advanced level of understanding of CPT coding. You can just get your CPMA, although I do think employers might question that a little bit. Well, if you have your RHIA, maybe not. But yeah, it depends on your firm understanding of things like evaluation and management, particularly because they do test on a lot of E&M coding on the PMA exam and infusions, I feel like as well. If we start with Preppy, best way to get our regular books. So Preppy will provide books for you. That's included in your enrollment. They will send you ebooks, and then they will also give you the option to have print books sent to you as well. Let's get back into the chat here. What tips do you have for coding faster? For example, during practice quizzes, there's I mean, really, it is a matter of practice, practice, practice. It's like saying, how can I lift more weights or lift heavier weights? You just have to keep up the repetition until you can build up that understanding. Do things even like walking through your book, understanding the layout of your book, knowing where to find things. Some people find tabs helpful. If you are interested in tabs, you think that's going to help you out to locate things faster. Some people, they like to just not have all that extra stuff on the side of their book. But if you like tabs, I have some coding instructional videos on how to tab your books. I just finished recording the HickPix one. So I have CPT and ICD 10 CM up. HickPix should be posting. I think that's scheduled for, I think, the 31st of this month. Yeah, John's saying budgeting is tight at end of year. Yeah, usually at the end of year, they're not wanting to add in any additional jobs if they don't have to. They want to wait until kind of the next calendar year starts. But we should start seeing an uptick of coding jobs coming in. I know I recently checked Indeed, and they had, I think, about 3,000 jobs when I checked for CPC. Let's see what we've got now. So Indeed.com, remote. Oh my God, I typed that in the wrong box. So if we look over here, we have, oh, 856. That doesn't seem right. Medical coding. Oh, you know what? It's because it was 3,000 when I searched for just CPC jobs. 24,088 jobs for medical coding. I don't know that that's necessarily accurate. Let's see what we do when we get CPC. 3,000 jobs for CPC. How many of them are remote? That's what everyone wants to know, right? Where are the remote jobs? 856. Urgently hiring. Here we go. Check Indeed right now, guys. There's some people that are urgently hiring. I'm curious now. We got to take a look. Now we got to take a look. Oh, look at this. When did this happen? Profile insights. Find out how your skills align with the job description. Do you have a valid certified professional coder certification? Do you have experience in telehealth? Oh, now it wants me to sign in. Come on, I don't want to do that. I just wanted to play with this. Do you have a bachelor's degree? No, I definitely don't have a bachelor's degree. Every now and then that ekes into me. Every now and then I'm like, I should go back because I see all my friends and they're like, I went to WGU and it didn't cost that much and it took me no time. I'm like, I could do that. And then I could write it all off and make a video about it, right? That's a business expense, Victoria. Speaking of business expenses, this is how bad I am getting lately. So Healthcon is coming up in April, right? It's in Las Vegas. I am going to be speaking. I am talking about how to build a brand as a healthcare business professional. I am so excited to do this presentation because I just want to like knock it out of the park, you know? This the thought occurred to me that since I'm already going to be so far over on the West Coast, that maybe right after HealthCon, I should just hop on over to California and go to Disneyland after I'm done with HealthCon because the flight will be so much cheaper because I can write off all the HealthCon stuff as a business expense and then the personal expense over to Disneyland, and it won't cost like, I feel like that's what I might wind up doing. I feel like I might be going right from Nevada to California. HealthCon, when is HealthCon, I'm getting asked. Yeah, so HealthCon is coming up, I think it's, like, mid-April, 16th, 17th, something like that. Let's take a look. HealthCon, April 14th through the 17th, and I think that includes I don't know if that includes the pre yes, the 13th is Teach the Teacher, and then the 15th is when they really kinda get into the meat and bones of it. So Sunday, welcome reception, networking stuff, and then I am speaking on Tuesday. I am on is it 6 something or another? Forensics, break, understanding telehealth, or maybe it's 7, I can't remember. Thankfully, it's not the last day when everyone's leaving. I got I got at least that far. Common inpatient, did I pass it already? No. 7A, risk, common inpatient, TBA. Okay, I think it might be 6 then. NCC? Oh, there it is. I passed it. Mastering Personal Branding, a Blueprint for Healthcare Business Professionals, Tuesday, April 16th at Healthcon. Look at that. Very excited. Very, very excited for that. It should be an awesome time. I'm excited for HealthCon this year. I'm probably gonna tap some people on the shoulder to do in-person interviews. I have to see. I want to look and see how much it costs to rent a suite at HealthCon Vegas versus when we were in DC, and it was, like, insane. So, I don't know, maybe I could contact the area and be like, "Can I borrow, like, a conference room? Can I just, like, rent out a small area for the day to bring in my friends and record?" We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I don't know what that kind of expense would be. I'm sure they have extra rooms. It's a huge conference center. Uh, Hey, Victoria, any new updates for CRC coding? I'm studying to take my CRC, whatever you can help me out with. I actually just went through and updated my CRC course not too long ago. Over the weekend, I did the updates to the videos. So I like to just keep everything the same if it doesn't change. Like I'm not going to re-record the whole thing. So there were a couple of pieces that I had to take out. I actually have some notes. Let me bring them up. Um, I think it was mostly I mean, the logistics of how everything works is exactly the same, but there was honestly, as far as the curriculum goes, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slides, like 6 slides that changed. There might have been some more stuff in, like, the ICD-10 CM stuff, like, nothing really pertinent that impacted code selection really changed. Um, I think there was one slide added about a Medicare value-based plans or something, but everything else, like, all it was that they just added in the column for version V28, like, that's what they did. That was the big major change, which if you know the understanding of how to follow the grids for V21 and V22, like, you can do the exact same thing with V28. So, of course, like, the code has changed, the HCC has changed, but the logistics of how it all worked is the same. I'm getting hot in here now. See, first I'm wearing a heated jacket, now I'm turning my fan on. Let me know if that gets into my mic at all and starts making weird noises. Am I gonna offer classes for the CPMA this year? I do have I think I did I put it back up? I was doing some changes on the CPMA. I took it down while I was checking to see if there were, like, updates that I really needed to drastically change. I think I put it back up. It should be still be there. But I'm gonna be changing some stuff with courses and what I do. More on that probably in the May timeframe. Let's see if I have my CPMA course still up. Because, like I said, I knew I took it down while I was making changes because I didn't wanna mess anyone up that enrolled and then was like, "Why are all the things?" Because they reorganized some of the chapters so that I think it flows a little bit better. Oh, yeah, yeah, I didn't publish it back up, there we go. Yeah, so my CPMA course is back up and available now on demand. Any suggestions to brush up on my coding? Well, that depends on what your goals are. Are you just looking for a general refresher or are you looking for something specialty specific? Because if you're looking for something specialty specific, there is the specialty, at least I think they still have them, specialty practicodes, which are kind of cool. Training, where is it? I feel like I need to just spend an hour looking at the AAPC website anymore and figuring out where everything is. Resources, Practicode under software and services. Okay, that makes sense. So there are Practicodes for experienced coders. So if you're looking for some specialty certification type of training, like how do I make sure that I'm as adept at coding this type of specialty as I think I am, you can sign up for Practicode for certain specialties and kind of use that as an assessment of your skills, behavioral health, cardiology. You can also get just buy study guides if you want to brush up on a specific area. You could get um, the CPC study guide if it's just a generalized thing. If you want to get up to date on just what's going on in general in the coding world, that's something where I would recommend doing things like signing up for podcasts, subscribing to them. Sonal Patel has a great podcast where she goes over almost like newsy stuff that's going on in the medical coding field. Um, there are more live streams popping up, which is making things more competitive for me. And let's see, you could also get the step-by-step books and go through some of the cases in there. Keep up to date with AAPC, the magazine, which is included in your AAPC membership. And also just do things like go to your local chapter meetings. I have a question, Victoria. What's your recommendation on coding books? I get recommendations on Bucks and AAPC, but what's my personal recommendations between Bucks and AAPC? Going for my COC next. I love the Bucks books. I don't know if they would be the best though for COC. I don't think they cover as much of the outpatient stuff as you would need if you're going for your COC certification. So if you would going for COC specifically, I would say to go with the AAPC COC materials. If you are just learning medical coding, just generally, like for especially for physician coding, I would go with the Bucks books because I used to teach with those at the tech school and they were phenomenal. And that's what I still recommend. I think as far as learning medical coding, they're the best source out there. I'm seeing a couple different questions coming up in the chat about job search. And I just want to remind everyone that I do have a lot of videos on the channel about job search. So if you go here, Contempo Coding YouTube channel, there's a whole playlist about how to find a medical coding job and all my best advice. So if you were to come up and meet me and say, "Hey, Victoria, I can't find a medical coding job. What advice do you have for me?" I am going to have to tell you to watch this entire playlist or watch one of my videos on how to find a medical coding job because outside of that, like I have dumped everything. Everything I can think of on how to find a medical coding job is in these videos. There is nothing I hold back. There is no secrets on anything else. Like the video is it. Um, get your resume done, go on Indeed.com, set up a LinkedIn profile. That's all the stuff I talk about in these videos. I do not gatekeep when it comes to job hunting advice. Any suggestions for studying for the CEMC exam? I would say just the study materials and the exam materials. Make sure that you understand what the AAPC's stance is, because oftentimes you might have something in your particular institution that might be a interpretation or utilize a different tool then that is different than what the AAPC will have you use for exam purposes. Especially now with the move to electronic exams. What we're seeing now is they're moving more towards embedding all of that information within the exam platform. So you can't bring in an E&M grid like you used to be able to in the past. In fact, even with the exam centers, you are not allowed to bring paper, pencil, highlighters, any writing instrument are not allowed in the exam centers. So make sure that you're familiar with whatever tool the AAPC has for coding for E&M, because that's what they're going to probably embed in the exam platform, and that's what you'll have to utilize. You'll have to utilize your books, and you will have to utilize whatever their E&M leveling tool is. Does the CPMA course show you how to create an audit report? I'm not sure if it specifically goes over, like, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put here and here and here and here, but that's a great I'm writing that down right now onto my content list. That is a great idea for a video. Content ideas. I don't think it does. I don't think it starts I think you're right, Don. I don't think it gives you, like, a start to finish. I think it kind of talks generalizations about the audit report, but I don't think it tells you how to do one. I'm writing that down. That is a great video idea. That should tap Shannon on the shoulder and be like, "Shannon, I have this great idea for a webinar for NamUs, how to create an audit report." Um, I don't know if I could fill a whole hour of that, though. How to create an audit report. That is idea number 417 on my content idea list. I love it, but thank you for bringing that up, Mallory. That is an awesome idea, how to create the audit report. I'll write a note on it right here. So here we go. I'm showing you right now. I'll show you my secret list. This is behind the scenes with Victoria. So this is the content list that I keep on Google, and I'm gonna write a right note here. Credit Mallory for the idea. Right there it is. 417. And look, I also have podcasts, shorts, playlists, all kinds of stuff on my content creation list. Very, very organized. And I actually am getting so good this year with planning things out. I think once I get the exam site video done, I'll have content through, I think, mid-February done. And oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys know this. I wrote a song. I've mentioned it once or twice. I wrote a song years ago about incident to billing. And I I keep it on like a Google Keep. It's been there for like years. I have it written down, and I finally got the courage to record it today because it requires, of course, me to sing. And I'm going to do my best attempt to maybe auto tune it a little bit. And I'm going to post that, I think, tomorrow. And we'll see how that goes. The incident to jingle, it's called. Can I share the differences between the coding books out there? AAPC, Optum, AMA. I think that's all of them. There's actually a couple. I think Bucks has their own edition. Trying to think what else is out there. AHIMA has their own edition. There's a couple others. CPT Plus, which is by PMIC, something like that. I hope I got those. I know those are the initials. I don't know if I got them in the right order. But yeah, one of the things I would pay attention to when you're looking at different editions of books is it going to have the guidelines in there? Is there gonna be illustrations? Because I've had organizations that they're like, "Oh, we found the CPT book for cheaper through this other vendor. They said they can save us tons of money." And they shipped us all these books, and the coders looked at them and they were like, "Absolutely not. Like, this isn't what we need. The guidelines aren't in them. There's no illustrations. There's no notes. It's literally just the code descriptions, and that's it. Like, we need." Then they had to ship them all back and order something else. I would say if you are talking CPT, definitely go with the AMA edition because you never know when you're gonna have to sit for the exam, and that's the edition most people are familiar with. I think it's fine to learn from other editions or utilize them maybe afterwards, but I personally just love using the AMA edition. For exam purposes, I love the AAPC editions because I think they put in a lot of things there that are very helpful if you are specifically sitting for AAPC exams. Other than that, like, the things to look for are, like, with the ICD-10-CM, I like to have the chapter-specific guidelines at the front of that chapter, so if I flip to chapter 15, I have my chapter 15 guidelines right there with me. So and then some people have differences as far as, like, font size and things, so I don't have, different editions with me to kind of compare and contrast, and so it's been a while since I've looked at them to compare font size and features and stuff, so but those are the things I kinda look for. Sierra's asking, "I lost my copy of the AAPC workbook from my class. Is there a way to purchase another one?" I don't think they have them on the website. You might have to go through your instructor or through your academic institution because I don't think that's one that they keep. I think any of the, like, official training curriculum materials, they will only allow you to get through certain vendors. Um, but as far as study guide stuff, they have that available on the website. Let's take a look here. Um, medical coding books, specialty guides, exam prep. Yeah, I don't think they let you buy just like the training materials and the workbook. So I would contact your educational institution or your instructor and ask if you are able to get an additional workbook. Yeah, I missed the earlier part of this conversation, but yeah, I definitely agree with you, Mallory. I kind of prefer the online. I like being kind of in my own setting and it really is though an individual choice because some people might have homes where they're not conducive to an exam setting for over 4 hours because you have to make sure that, you have nothing on your desk, that you can connect through the external webcam, that you can understand your proctor, that you have appropriate lighting in there for them to see you, that you can do the sweep, and that your cat's not going to be crawling on your keyboard, or your kids aren't going to knock on the door. So, um, I think with the exam center, then there's a lot more control over the area, um, and even more so than we had with the exams that were proctored by the local chapters, because the local chapters oftentimes would have them in hospitals or in educational institutions, so there might be bells ringing. I've had exams that I either sat in or proctored where the cleaning crew was going by and they were vacuuming or sweeping very loudly outside or having conversations. So I honestly think the exam centers are going to be better with those sort of aspects because even in the hospitals, a lot of them will have an alarm, sort of a lullaby sound when a baby is born. And that's like confusing as heck to someone who's not been in a hospital where that's happened before and you're in the middle of taking an exam and all of a sudden you hear like a lullaby coming overhead for you. Um, I worked in one I worked in one hospital, healthcare organization, I guess, that was an outpatient center downtown, and they were very Catholic. It was a Catholic-based health center, and in the morning, all of a sudden and it was the first time it ever happened to me, you would hear, like, a prayer come overhead, and it was weird because I was in this, like, dead silent area where you wouldn't hear anything, like, in a back corner hallway where no patients were allowed, so you'd be there alone, and all of a sudden, you would hear, like, this overhead, like, "And now we will bow our head in prayer," and you'd be like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" So, it was kinda freaky. Um so yeah, the exam, you are allotted 4 hours. Some people do finish prior to that. Some people need the whole 4 hours. Some people, do not finish in time for the 4 hours. I think we're seeing less of that though, people not finishing on time. But yeah, it really does oftentimes take the 4 hours. Pam says there was a bird tapping on a window during your last exam. Yeah, I mean, especially if you're in one of those hospital settings, like if a code red happens, a code red happens. Like it's gonna go off throughout the entire hospital. Linda's saying I started my fundamentals class yesterday, but does the CPC start after the fundamental class? Not quite sure if you're going through the AAPC, I know you have prerequisites. I know Preppy has med term and stuff that they make you take first. So the actual coding part, you can't I mean, I hate to say you can't learn coding unless you know med term, um, but it's very difficult to learn coding efficiently and to the degree that you need to be successful in your career if you don't have a firm foundational understanding of medical terminology. So, yeah, you really do have to do the fundamental courses and learn that good foundation before you really get into the coding parts of it. So, understanding med term, understanding a little bit of anatomy, understanding surgical processes, understanding even things like your health insurances. What is a Medicare versus a Medicaid? And why do we have different codes for Medicare versus our commercial insurances? So if you don't understand what a commercial insurance is, it can make that very difficult. Sugar's asking, I'm in an online class for medical billing and coding, and one of my classes is current procedural terminology, and we are doing operative reports. Could you help me learn and understand how to do so? So you are in the right spot. What I would suggest is if you go over to the channel website, I do have some videos that are specific to case studies. So there is a whole playlist there that covers how to code for cases and how to break down operative notes. I think there are some here. Yeah, coding cases for hernia repairs, skin grafts, carpal tunnel, lipoma repairs. There's a lot of different case studies and operative report instructions there. So that is where you can find some information on how to break down an operative report. Can I use my 2023 ICD-10 CM book for the 2024 exam? Yes, you can. There's going to be some code changes that might not be reflected in the book that you have. So there is a slight risk. Looking at what the code changes were personally from 2023 to 2024, I would say at most it would be like one question that there might be a difference in. When we think about the AAPC, imagine you're the AAPC and you have this extraordinary test bank of coding questions because that's what they do. They have, here's all the questions that we can use on the CPC exam, and it's hundreds, possibly if not thousands of questions, right? You're not gonna want to have to change that every single year, right? You're gonna go through and you're gonna scan for the ones that the codes have changed and you need to update because now it needs a different code or a character extension. You're not gonna go in and be like, "Oh my gosh, we got 200 new codes, this year. We're gonna add in 200 new questions for each of these new codes," right? Like, that would be dumb. You're gonna wanna do it like most of us, the lazy way, the laziest way possible to update this exam. Um, so they're gonna go in and look for what has changed, and it might just be like, "You know what? I this one isn't, accurate anymore," and they might just delete it out of the test bank. They might just delete it entirely. So there is a tiny little risk that you might get a question that is on a new code that won't be reflected in your 2023 book, but you are permitted to use your 2023 book. You are permitted to use 1 year back. So here for 2024, you can use your 2023 books. You can't use your 2022 books. You're allowed to go 1 year prior. Paper books or ebooks for the exam, as of the date that we are on right now, January 11th, ebooks are not permitted for the exam. They are testing that capability going forward. Um, I would say there's a fair chance we will see it for 2024. But, as of now, I haven't seen anything or heard anything from the AAPC about ebooks being allowed. If anyone's heard anything definitively or seen anything on the website, definitely let me know. I know the other question I've been getting is the fill in the blank questions because there's been these little kind of comments from the AAPC. That they have the capability of adding fill in the blank questions with the electronic exam platforms that they use now. So, they have, I think, looked into it. They are trying some things out, but they also indicated that they would be changing the study materials prior to making that change so that everyone knew it was coming. So, personally, I don't think it's gonna happen for 2024. My thought that that would happen is is my thought that that's gonna happen is dwindling because looking at the 2024 study material, there aren't fill in the blank questions. In the AAPC curriculum, the final exam that they include for the curriculum does not include fill in the blank questions, and I think it would be very much a disservice if the materials that they're putting out for studying don't have fill in the blank, but then the exam does. So I have a feeling that we might not see that till 2025. I think there's a lot of changes going on right now with 2024, and I don't think they wanna dump fill in the blank questions in on top of that as well. I think they might just hold that off until 2025. Again, I don't know anything definitively, but that's just based off of what I've seen, my prediction of what's gonna happen based off of the variables that I've seen. Is CIC worth to do than COC? I mean, that depends on what you consider worth. I mean, some people like a specific type of coding, so to them, it might be worth it because of a fulfillment purpose. They might just like doing that type of coding more, so that might be worth it to them. If we're talking strictly financial, is it worth it financially to go for the CIC than the COC? Let's take a look at the salary survey. So here is the 2023 medical billing and coding salary, and I do believe they have a breakdown here of different certifications. Da, 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 da. Come on. Don't play games with me right now. Considering a career, salary by credential. There we go. Okay. Non-certified, certified, credential. So the COC, here's the median salary, 70,663. The CIC is 74,475, so a $4,000 a year increase. We might see differences with that with AHIMA as well. So it might be the CCS, which is the inpatient coding credential for AHIMA, might be paying higher than the CIC. I would think they were possibly around the same. I don't believe this 74,000 for the payer. I don't believe that at all. Um, Typically speaking, inpatient coding physicians do tend to be on the higher end of the payment scale or the salary scale. Yeah, so median, yeah, Jules, median is not at entry level. Now, if you're interested additionally in salary specifics, let me bring this up. Salary calculator. If we go to the AAPC, I don't want that. Move mouse, go where I want you to. Okay. If we move, if we go AAPC salary calculator into Google and we click on that link there, okay, they will give you more specific information about your salary for your region based off of your credentials, based off of your years of experience. So let's say I'm going to go based off of my information. I live in Pennsylvania. Okay, so this is the average medical coder salary in Pennsylvania. I personally have 15, 16 years of experience, 16. And I have a lot of specialties. Let's see here. Did that make it go up or down? My God. Okay, specialty. I wonder if I can add multiple. I do family practice. No, I do plastic surgery. I do internal medicine. Plus see, plastics isn't even, where's the rest of the stuff? Oh, multi-specialty. There we go. Primary cert. Oh, it only lets you pick 2 things. Okay. Now it's gone down. How is that even possible? Multi-specialty has gone down. 16 years of experience. Primary certification, CPC. Now it's going up. Other certification. What happened to the salary calculator? It's acting crazy. CEMC. Why would I have a CPC and a CPC? Someone fix this. Someone tell the AAPC their salary calculator's not working right. Pennsylvania, 57,500. But yeah, you can tool around with this a little bit just to kind of see what information it's going to give you as far as salaries in your area. Let's see what happens if I take out the 16 years of experience. See, what the heck? Bizarro. But yeah, you can also do that, and you can also check out the Salary survey information. They have information based off of location, education, employer type, etc., and it'll give you all the different breakdowns based off of what the members reported in 2023. Gabrielle is asking, "Do you have a video on medical law and ethics?" I do not. I do not. That sounds like you need some some assistance on a certain chapter of a like, "Oh, this is our chapter on medical law and ethics. Let's see if Victoria has it." I wish I did. That I will also add to my list. I actually should probably bring someone on to the podcast for that. Let's see, content ideas. I'm gonna add that on. Topic, medical law and ethics. It's on the content list now. All right, guys, we are getting up at 3:02. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me this hour. Definitely let me know if you guys think it will be okay to switch live streams to Mondays at 2 o'clock instead of having them on Fridays, because Fridays are just oh, Pam. Oh, man, that would be the best. Um, yeah, so thank you everyone for coming on to the live stream today. It was great. I didn't see any of my Instagram people coming in, so I hope the live stream worked correctly on Instagram, and I see Facebook. Okay, I do see my Facebook people on here. Awesome. So, I will see you guys next time. Until then, just keep on coding on.